Oh my goodness. Oh, it's a loud one out there today. So if you're looking for a stream without background noise, this stream today is not your best choice. I'm just getting set up for today's Reiki by request ASMR. I hope you're doing well today. We'll be getting started in just a few minutes. Just getting things situated here. I hope you're doing well today. Let me know in the chat how you're doing. Come on in and make yourself comfortable. We'll be getting started in just a few minutes. Just getting everything set up. Lauren, thank you for getting your heartbeat. Don't forget to get your heartbeat if you're part of the fan club or if you would like to become part of the fan club. Anastasia feeling low energy today. I wonder what allowing yourself to go slowly today would feel like. Not to push yourself to always be high energy or to always be one way or the same. What if you just allowed space for yourself to move through the day slowly and easily, making space and allowing exactly what you need? What would be wrong with that? As we come into the space today, let me know how you're doing in the chat if you'd like. And I'll be getting started with the live stream in just a few more minutes. Come on in and get comfortable. Relax. For the next 2 hours or so, we'll engage in some relaxing, tender, loving Reiki energy healing. Let me know how you're doing in the chat. I just have to check a couple more things and then I think we'll be ready to begin. All right. I think we're ready. Hopefully everything sounds good on your side today. Monica, thank you for the gifts. Good morning, Rebecca. Let's go ahead and begin. You might have noticed I have a new time for live stream starting this week. I put out a message on TikTok yesterday. It's a last minute change, so I'm glad that you could be here. My new times will be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. for Reiki on Mondays and Thursdays, you can check my profile picture for the updated schedule in case you need to know. Fatima, thanks for letting me know in the chat how you're feeling today. What would it look like if you just allowed yourself to be tired today? I know when I'm feeling tired, one of the first things that I sometimes do is try to be energized and try to combat my fatigue. But I found that when I can make space for how I'm feeling and allow how I'm feeling and acknowledge, hello Lord, to myself and to others that I'm tired. And it's okay for me to move through the day exactly how I feel. Monica feeling stressed. Good morning, Busy. I'm glad you're here on my new time. I'll be trying out this 11 a.m. Eastern time slot for a few weeks. And see how that time goes. All right, let's go ahead and begin. I'll start just by explaining the session, introducing myself, and then we'll get started, okay? This is Reiki by request. And my name is Jen. I'm a certified Reiki master teacher. Good morning, Lexi. Thank you for getting your heart me's as you come in. It's a great way to stay in touch and be a part of our healing community. During the next 2 hours or so, we will relax. Hello, Deborah. Hello, Maleficent. Good morning, Serena. As we open to receive Reiki energy healing, in order to receive Reiki, you need to accept and open to receive. That might sound quite simple, and it definitely can be simple to open and receive. However, for most of us, opening and receiving are quite challenging experiences. Most of us spend a lot of time being closed and giving rather than receiving. So during the live stream, I'll be using tender, loving language with a soft spoken voice and slow hand movements to help you to slowly open and relax, and to help you reach a point of opening and receiving. Sometimes healing takes time, and that's all right. We'll move slowly and mindfully. Today's session is Reiki by request, which means that any viewers are welcome to make requests during the live stream. Let me put up the menu for today. You might have seen it pop up horizontally here at the top of your screen. Every session, I offer different gifts for different services. If you'd like to make a personal request today, you can gift for a mini session, which is usually one energy, an expanded, which is usually 2 or 3, or a complete, which is usually 3 or 4. Requests are optional, remembering that Reiki is for everyone, anyone who is open and willing to receive it. No matter what the request is, remembering that Reiki always travels where it's needed and how it's needed in this moment for you and for your highest good. Let's get started with the session. As you come into the live stream today, feel free to comment how you're feeling, what you're needing, or just saying hello, good morning, beautiful, welcome. So glad you're here, Mirren. If we don't have any requests to begin today, I can begin just by doing a little bit of intuitive healing. Good morning, Elena. Thank you for tapping the screen and following. All right, since we don't have any requests to get us started today, let me begin just by sitting and seeing what comes to mind. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Raylan. Gorgeous bouquet. So good to see you. Raylan is also a Reiki master. So if you have a chance to check out Raylan's page, please do. Raylan, if you have a request for today's session, go ahead and let me know in the chat what that request or focus might be for today. Thank you so much. If you'd like to make a request of your own, you can always gift one of the pinned gifts for today. There are 3 of them there. Also, at the end of the session, if there's time, I like to address any requests for healing that were not gifted. So I like to give people the opportunity to receive requests as well. Perfect. Let me go ahead and write that down. Sorry to hear about your sinus infection. Sinuses, fatigue, of course. Give me just a moment to sit with that and we'll get started. I actually already had some ideas come to mind. So sorry to hear, Moon. Maybe we can put some supportive emojis and some loving energy for Moon Lover in the chat. And for anyone in need, just putting some loving, supportive emojis or messages in the chat for Moon. I have not heard of Mermaid Whispers. I'll have to look into her. I'm always looking for more Reiki here on TikTok. I love watching all the creators. All right, so I had a couple energies come to mind. The first one that I'd like to work with is an essential oil combination. This is geranium, and this is clary sage. The clary sage is perfect for clearing out any of that debris from the sinuses, from the body in general. The geranium is strong. I don't know if you've ever smelled geranium essential oil. It's sharp, floral, and it has this, I guess the only word I can use is sharp. It's so identifiable when you smell it. It smells wonderful. It's so strong. And I'd like to use it for its strength of scent. As if you're inhaling it and it has that clearing and clarifying energy to amplify the clary sage. I'm going to combine those two essential oils into my ball roller with a little carrier oil. Give me just a moment and we'll work into the sinus pathways. Just a moment. You'll have to put these recommendations for other ASMR or Reiki artists in the chat at the end so I can write it down. You could also send me a link to their pages, maybe that would work. Okay, I am ready to begin with our first request of the day from Raylan. And actually, as I was preparing the ball roller with the essential oils, good morning, Karen, I thought that I wanted to begin instead with a little sound healing. So let's work with 3 energies. Give me just a sec. When it comes to congestion, that begins here in the mind, working its way down through the sinuses, through the back of the face, down the throat. I'd like to begin with a little bit of a crisp sound. Hello, Kiana. And as you hear the crisp sound of the metal singing bowl, I'd like you to imagine the energy in the head, in the nasal passages, in the face, and in the throat. I'd like you to imagine the energy there settling like dust. We'll settle it so that we can clear it. As you hear the sound of the singing bowl, imagining the settling of the energy in those regions. letting that energy settle. As that resonance, that metallic quality of the singing bowl weaves through the front of the mind, almost like a cap that you've pulled onto the top of your head. A warm and woolly cap. Hello, Victoria. Letting the energy settle in the mind. Letting the energy settle through the sinuses. Letting the energy settle through the face and the throat. Good. I'd like to use that energy roller of geranium and clary sage now. As we begin energetically to apply that sharp, floral and herbaceous energy, starting right at the third eye energy center. I want to say in the background, you might hear some loud construction noises today. They are regrading our dirt road right now. So that's what you hear in the background. Just wanted to let you know. As this geranium and clary sage essence approaches the third eye, we seek to clarify and to lighten that settled energy. Allowing any energy gathered at the front of the cranium, the middle of the cranium, the back of the cranium. Hello, Kim. Allowing it to settle and release. Inviting that essential oil resonance now to journey down the nasal passages. If you have the ability to do so, if you're not driving or otherwise occupied, you might place 2 fingers to the side of your nose, right underneath your eyes, toward the, what is this called? The point, the inner point of your eye, just like this. Not using much pressure at all, just letting the 2 fingers rest right there. And as I come in with that essential oil medley, acknowledging any pressure, any feelings of discomfort residing under the pads of your fingertips. And if you can, directing the breath to rest right beneath those pads, if you can breathe well enough. If breath is not moving through the nose right now, I'd like you to imagine breath. Imagine breath with your mind's eye, traveling through the nasal passages, with the potential of opening. Good. If you have placed 2 fingers right here, I'd like you to begin now circling those 2 fingers gently right around the area where they were hovering. And you might drag, not pull, those 2 fingers along the bottom of the apples of your cheek, dragging the fingers up toward the ears, and then returning with a soft massage at the top of the nasal passages and a slow and gentle drag, feeling the bottoms of the apples of your cheeks, sliding the fingers up to the top of your ears. It feels so nice. Let it feel nice as I trace that pathway energetically. You can continue with that massage and drag motion several times. Beautiful. Yeah, that's it. And if you have the space to do so, I'd like you to take those same 2 fingers, the middle finger on the front of the face, the pointer on the back of the ear on both sides. So you're kind of tenting the fingers around the ear like that. And I'd like you to gently rub up toward the top of the ear, letting the fingers just drag to the earlobe and back up. Several times moving in a soft and gentle motion, massaging the side of the cranium and the ear. And if you can't actually use your fingers right now, you can imagine the fingers rubbing on the sides of the ear. Good. Perfect. Let's move down the throat, the back and the front of the throat now. If you can do so, you might cross your hands at the wrists, taking those 2 fingers and just beginning to draw from the earlobe slightly forward. Not pulling, just a light and gentle touch. Imagining a small glowing orb of energy gathering in the throat chakra right there as you slide the fingers down toward the throat chakra. Perfect. Anointing that throat chakra energy center with the energy of geranium and clary sage. Yeah. Perfect. One final thing to do if you are participating in this sinus clearing is to take those two fingers and just move them along the ridge of the clavicle bones, slow and soft. Imagining that gathered ball of light energy from the throat moving through the clavicles and softening any energy in its path. Hello, Ride. This is Reiki. I'd like you to imagine now a route like a map, journeying from the third eye down through the sinuses and the cheekbones to the tops of the ears, down to the lobes, down through the front of the throat and out across the clavicles. Can you imagine that pathway? Energetically, from the third eye down through the sinuses, down over the apples of the cheeks, to the points of the ears, the tips, down to the lobe. Bestie, my husband also doesn't like mouth sounds. Down toward the front of the throat, spreading like wings across the clavicle. Imagine that pathway opening incrementally, becoming freer and clearer. Good. As you welcome movement, gentle and easy, that's it. Good. I'd like to follow that. Let's see, what did I want to follow that with? Here it is. This is my tiniest specimen of sodalite. Usually I use my large specimen of sodalite, which I love, but I wanted to use this smallest specimen because it came to mind in terms of going deeper, moving deeper into some of that energetic, I want to say energetic fascia, but that's not what I mean. That energetic fabric of the sinuses, the head, and the throat. Sodalite is an energy of lymph, the lymphatic system, which is that surface kind of fluid that we were working with just a moment ago. Sodalite is the cardinal energy of lymph, encouraging the movement of fluids while we go about our day trying to heal, helping those fluids to move more freely, bringing freedom and release. Let's spend a few moments with this sodalite. Sodalite is an energy of the mind space and the intellectual energy body. but it also is an energy of the lymphatic system, connecting the energy of the mind to the movement of lymph. I can feel it myself, having an energetic movement here. Flowing from the cranium, working its way down through the body. An exercise in draining and release as the lymph carries away the toxins and the blockages physically. Imagining plenty of space. Good. As this soda light encourages the free and easy flow of lymph, starting at the cranium and working its way through the face, through the throat, down and out through the clavicles, and journeying as it makes its way toward the earth. Hello, Tina. Good to see you. Good. Letting that energy settle. Allowing yourself to receive goodness, loving energy. Thanks, Karen. Glad you're here. Thanks for following. Thank you so much for your request, Raylan. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I hope that energy served you. Let me know in the chat if that sinus clearing journey brought with it any sensations, any thoughts. You can always share them in the live stream if you like. If you'd like to make a request of your own today, anytime during the live stream, you can gift one of the pinned gifts for today. Good. Perfect. Coming up next, we don't have another request, so we have some open time. Let me go ahead and sit and see what comes to mind, and we'll get started. Grand Rising, Deneen, so good to see you. So I actually do have an energy that came to mind. A crystal energy of balance. Give me just a moment to get that ready. Thank you for tapping your screen. We're at 22K likes. Don't forget to grab your heart me if you'd like to get alerts about the live streams. And also if you are interested in being part of our community here on TikTok. Marie. Welcome to the fan club. All right. The energy that came to mind is a crystal energy. This is Shiva Lingham. Is it snowing there, Deneen? Where are you? I'm looking forward to the snow coming here in Massachusetts. Shiva Lingham. This is my larger specimen of the crystal. And I also have a baby, cute crystal here of Shiva Lingham. Isn't that adorable? It looks almost like a cigar. Do you think so? Anyway, Shiva Lingham is a go-to energy for all things related to balance. Is it really, Dominique, in upstate New York? Thank you, Trina. Shiva Lingham is a hallmark energy of balance. Its particular type of balance is between what's called the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Thank you, Nay. In Michigan, you have 3 inches of snow. Wow. Oh my goodness. Chelsea, today I'm doing requests based on gifts. So a mini would be 1 energy, an expanded would be 2 or 3, and a complete would be 3 or 4, I don't know, sometimes more. Also, at the end of the session, if we have time, I usually do requests that are not gifted, so up to you today. Every live stream, the gifts are different. And the divine masculine and divine feminine energy is not related to gender or sex at all. Rather, just like all energy, it has a particular metaphoric, metaphysical function possessed by all living beings. This energy seeks to bring balance into the divine masculine and feminine energy encompassing all living things. The divine masculine is metaphorically connected to doing, taking action, rising with energy and purpose, feeling motivated and almost airy, air and fire elements. Hold on a moment. Just a moment here. It's an energy that's associated with courage and strength, striving, achievement. The sun, the air, the fire. While the divine feminine is associated with the grounding, the moon. Nourishment, softness, rest, emotion, water. Shiva Lingham seeks to bring balance within you in each of these energies to rejuvenate and restore equilibrium, to bring wellness. Thank you for using our team emojis in the chat, women. I love to see that. Thank you. Good. Let's run this Shiva Lingham through the layers of energy bodies as we allow realignment. Gina, Monica, thanks for using the emojis. Good. Balance with Shiva Lingham might look like allowing more self-care. If you need more of that divine feminine essence, metaphysically, it might look like bringing up the energy to feel stronger, warmer, and just allowing yourself to stay curious as energy moves and changes. Observing energy as it comes and goes. Oh, thank you. I just saw it, the sunglasses flash on the screen. It was so quick for me. I think I had my eyes closed. Perfect. Thank you so much. Chelsea, let me know in the chat what your request is. I know earlier you had mentioned, I'm just going to scroll up, secondary infertility. Yes, we can definitely do that if that's what you'd like. Hello, Chelsea. So good to see you. Oh my goodness. Chelsea, my apologies for my ignorance, but could you or someone else explain in the chat what is meant by secondary infertility? I don't want to take a guess because I could be wrong. That would be helpful for me. Thank you. This is my baby, Shiva Lingham. I just wanted to use this cute little guy as we finish up our healing for balance. Secondary is because I've had 2 kids years ago, but now having trouble conceiving. I see. Thanks for explaining, Chelsea. Yes, let's get to your request next. All right, letting that Shiva Lingham crystal settle. Coming up next, we have a request from Chelsea. Give me just a moment to sit with that, and we'll get started. First, a little water. to need just a few minutes because I want to look through my notes more thoroughly, since this is a very specific request, and see if I can find something in my notes before I sit and go a little deeper. So hang on just a moment. Sorry, I'm just writing down some notes. This is not a request that I usually get, so I want to make sure that things are aligning. Give me just another couple minutes. All right, I think I got it. Hang on. I know that you only did a mini, but this is going to be, I'd like to use two energies if that's okay. I'd like to use bloodstone for obvious reasons, but I'd like to compare that with calligraphy jasper for that earth element that I'd really like to bring in. So give me just a minute to find those two crystals and we'll get started. All right, let's begin. I'd like to begin with just a little bit of plain Reiki. As we energetically move through the physical and emotional energy bodies, especially the reproductive system and the heart. Seeking clarity and presence in those areas. I'd like to use bloodstone crystal. My specimen of bloodstone is so much smaller than I would like. In my dreams, I own an enormous bloodstone. But this is my bloodstone. It's a worry stone. And you can see it is bespeckled a little bit with red here. And it has that deep army green kind of coloring with those occasional deep red speckles. Bloodstone is obviously an energy of the blood, first and foremost, in terms of the blood's primary function is what we oftentimes call detoxification. The blood is a carrier of so many nutrients as it marshals fresh oxygen, fresh nutrients through the body. Blood also can carry various toxins or challenging elements. The first thing that bloodstone does is to clarify and purify blood, both physically and metaphysically. As we run this bloodstone through the layers of the energy body, we pay particular attention to the reproductive system and the heart, as those two energy centers of the sacral chakra and the heart chakra. See the pathway connecting them a little bit more clearly. We might imagine a thread moving from the sacral chakra to the heart. I'd like you to imagine the blood clear and clean, fresh and oxygenated. I'd like you to imagine the organs revitalizing, just feeling the sensation of fresh energy as it moves to rejuvenate the organs of the reproductive system, as energy gathers into those organs. Imagining that thread from the heart to the sacral chakra, flooded with fresh and clean energy. Imagine the heart space pouring its light as it trickles down, making its way to fill the organs of the sacral realm, pouring into those organs of fresh, soft and loving light. Filling those organs with love and ease. Good. I want to follow that bloodstone immediately with calligraphy jasper. This is calligraphy jasper, and it is an energy for the root chakra and what's sometimes called the earth star chakra. It's going to direct that energy toward the earth as you let that soft, light energy of the heart fill the organs. I'd like you to imagine that light like water as it begins to pour out of the top of the sacral chakra organs, overflowing. You know what it looks like when you're pouring water into a cup and you just let the water run slowly, and at the top of the cup the water begins to overflow, coming up over the edge, creating a small micro bubble as the water spills down the side of the container. That's what I want you to imagine, with the light like water flowing from the heart and pouring into the organs, the reproductive organs. As that energy like water begins to drip over the edges, imagine that water flowing straight down into the earth. That's what this energy conducts. The free and open flowing of the overflow. As that light, like water, is directed down into the earth space. Good. Can you see that whole apparatus, that whole process in your mind's eye? From heart to sacrum to earth. Imagining that line of light, abundant and overflowing light of love and ease. Good. Perfect. Above all else, just some advice, if that's okay. From one mama to another, see if you can make space just to allow yourself to be in this moment exactly as you are, even with perceived limitations and frustrations. Sometimes allowing yourself just to rest in a moment of being can help the next moment to change. Making space. Good. Thank you so much for your request. Perfect. And I will say one thing as well that I just saw in my own mind's eye was actually a placement of your hands on your lower abdomen. If I could show you, just give me a second here. Taking an inverted triangle of shape here and just holding the hands over the sacral chakra region. Breathing into the hands and letting the reproductive organs breathe into the hands as the hands breathe back in. That's something that I myself do when I'm menstruating. I know that's a little weird to say on a live stream, but it really does help a lot with just envisioning the transfer and the movement of energy. Or sometimes it can feel so boggy and stuck in that area. So that's one thing that I do that can help me to feel like things are moving again, which might help to support you in your goal. Thank you so much for your request, Chelsea. I hope that was useful for you or anyone that it resonated with. Yay, Fatima, thank you for the bouquet. So beautiful. Yeah, you did too. That's amazing, Amirin. I sometimes wonder if there are universal symbols or universal gestures that just seem innate when we're suffering or really experiencing anything in life that we do commonly to help us through. Fatima, thank you so much for your gift. Yay. Foxy. Perfect. Let me write you both down. Fatima with expanded and Foxy with a mini request. Let me know, both of you, in the chat if you have a particular request or if you'd like something intuitive today. Perfect, Dawn. Dawn, that's so funny that you mentioned that in the chat. So I keep a couple notes on my phone just to help support me in times that I'm struggling. And one of them that I wanted to add was do what needs doing. Do what needs doing. Because like you, it sounds like I also will avoid sometimes things that I know need doing. And so it's a nice gentle reminder to know that there's space for you to do what needs to be done. Ben, thank you for sending me your very first gift. Thanks for joining the fan club. All right. Let's see. Fatima, a sense of dread causing nightmares. Let me write that down. Sorry to hear you're going through that. Perfect. Let me sit with that for a moment and we'll get started. Perfect. I actually want to work with 3 energies here that all 3 came to mind. I'd like to work with a little bit of smoke clearing using my Palo Santo to begin, just to clear some of the air, some of the negative, heavy, unwanted energy. Then I'd like to use my labradorite. This is my specimen of labradorite. You can see the labradorite right there with the azure and golden iridescent color in this specimen. And I'd like to finish with my little mini selenite. All right, let me go ahead and get the Palo Santo ready and we'll begin. All right, I'm going to go ahead and light this. This is a vanilla scented candle. We'll keep it burning while we do the Palo Santo. Palo Santo is a strong, very strong scent. If you have ever burnt Palo Santo, you may know it's very, very, it's very earthy. In a very affronting way. It's so strong. And it has that grounding quality. I'm just going to let this burn for a second here. It has that strongly grounding quality. And it also has, there we go, that's a good stream of smoke. As I run this smoke through the auric space, imagine that the smoke is gathering fragments of energy that's ready to move. As the smoke winds through the aura, let it pick up shards of energy ready to move and change. Smoke clearing is like a clean sweep of energy. Palo Santo is much like any other kind of smoke clearing. It's intended to purify and release any energy that is challenging or stuck. In this case, energy that we feel as negative, the opposite of what we desire, of what feels safe and good. Kira. Glad you stopped it. I'm going to let this Palo Santo continue to burn as I place it into my shell here, letting that clearing, cleansing, invitation inform the rest of the request. Hello, Hattie. So good to see you. Perfect. Labradorite is the primary energy that I'd like to work with. If you have watched my live streams before, you may know that labradorite is often a crystal that I use for things related to inspiration, the kind of inspiration that you get from like a muse. It really is a stone of creativity. However, that's not why I wanted to use it for you. One of the secondary functions of labradorite is to bring in strength when faced with dark spaces. You can even see from its coloring how most of it around the specimen is dark. You can see it right there, right? But when you change it just a little bit, you begin to notice beautiful, magnificent coloring, subtle, iridescent beauty. That's the energy that I'd like to use from this labradorite. It's a shift in perspective, a moment where you glimpse something soft and lovely in an otherwise dark or scary, shadowy space. Not trying to change that space, but rather looking for the light and the color in it. Do you see it right there? Moving toward that space with questions and curiosity, rather than rejecting it or feeling scared. Listening to the message, noticing the colors. Daisy, is labradorite one of your favorites? It's such a wonderful stone. Good. If you've watched my live streams before, you know that one of the images that is attached to this crystal for me is that of a mage. I imagine an old mage with long white beard and mustache, cloaked in wonder like a robe. And I always see this old mage standing at the edge of shadows, and in his hand burns and flickers an iridescent flame, just like this one, with teal, azure, golden, yellow, orange, a small flame held, hovering just over his hand, his palm. And I imagine that iridescent flame flickering and dancing in the darkness, encouraging us to stay curious and inspired, even in the darkest and the most unknown of spaces. I invite you to envision that mage as well, an energy of magical thinking, of wonder and delight that is able to find color even in the darkness. Remembering that small palm flame you can bring into any dreamscape that you have, letting it flicker and dance with the shadows. And I wanted to follow that labradorite energy with my smallest specimen of selenite. I like this little guy because it does quick and precise work. I invite you to allow this selenite, which carries the energy of moonlight, to journey exactly where it's needed, the center of dread and fear. Brushing away those sensations, allowing those sensations to move and change. Selenite is like a shard of moonlight. Imagine that when you are feeling lost in the darkness, just as you begin to feel the sensations of fear or dread, a soft and silvery shard of the moon rises up at the top of the tree line, emerging from behind the shadows just when you need it, offering cool and soft illumination, dissipating the shadows and standing with you in the dark. Bringing an easy and nourishing light. Good. Perfect. Thank you so much for your request. Allowing that energy just to arrive. Noticing as energy moves and changes. Thank you so much for your request, Fatima. Let me know in the chat if anyone felt any movements or sensations, or if any thoughts or ideas came to mind. Coming up next, we have a request from Foxy, but I must have missed Foxy's request. I'm just going to scroll back and see if Foxy put their request in the chat. If not, that's okay. You don't need to make a request. Perfect. All right, Foxy, if you're still here, you can let me know in the chat. If you do have a request, there's no pressure. Let's see. Otherwise, there are no other requests, which is fine. Good, so good to hear that. Coming up next, let's do another intuitive healing. Let me sit for a moment. Actually, I have another idea. Let me see if I can put up a poll. Give me just a second and we can vote on the next Reiki experience if there aren't any other requests. Thank you for tapping your screen. We're almost at 40K likes. Thank you for your support. Okay, it doesn't look like I can do a poll while I have these different gift things up. Let me see if I can. I'd really like to do a poll, so give me just a second. See if I can erase that. Hold on. All right, we're gonna see if I can make this happen. All right, I'm trying to put up a poll for us to vote on the next experience. I think it's going to work. Yay! All right, so we did it. Let's see here. Hold on. Just figuring some things out here. Just a second. There it is. Yay! All right, coming up next, let's vote in the poll. There is a blue checkmark icon. It should be in your upper left corner of the screen. You can click on that icon to vote in the poll, and the vote is for a chakra focus. Option A is Soul Star, which is an energy center that resides even up above the crown. That is the center of things like the soul's journey, the soul's path, past lives, that kind of energy. Option B is the crown chakra, working with that angelic or cosmic realm of divine guidance and the inner voice, inner wisdom. Option C is the third eye. That is the seat of sight, of really seeing things like truth. It's the home of the intellectual energy body working with the mind space. Things like focus and inner knowing based on experiences in this life. Option D is the throat chakra, bringing in some personal power, finding your voice, expressing and communicating clearly with yourself and with others. Option E is the heart chakra, the seat of emotions and feeling, where we lock away our trauma and our, our inner child, where we work on connections and love, feeling love and giving love. Option F is the solar plexus, the home of self-healing, where we all keep our inner light stored, where we let it free through the physical body to heal our ailments. It's our sense of self as well. Option G is the sacral chakra, working with reproduction and our connections with others, our role as an individual in a community. H is the root chakra, working with grounding and addressing our needs for survival, our basic needs, feeling safe, feeling loved, feeling protected. feeling valuable and worthy. And option I is the Earth Star, resting deep below the Earth, connecting us to the planetary energies, the energies of being human, all the life force energy on the planet, deep grounding, deep safety. If you'd like to vote in the poll for your chakra of choice, you can click on the blue checkmark icon in the upper left-hand corner. Right now, in the lead is the third eye by only 2 votes, with Soul Star coming in at a hot second place. We have about 1 minute left in the poll. If you'd like to vote, get in your vote now. Third eye chakra is in the lead with only 1 vote, so it's very close between third eye and soul star. Oh yes, let me see. I do have 3 accounts here on TikTok. I have this one for Reiki, which is evening springtime Reiki. I have one for ASMR, which is evening springtime ASMR. And I have one for yoga, which is evening springtime yoga. So I do have 3 different accounts. Oh my goodness. At the very last minute, Soul Star Chakra pulled ahead and won by 2 points. Perfect. So coming up next, we'll do some Reiki for the Soul Star Chakra. Thank you for everyone who voted in the poll. I appreciate your support. Thank you for tapping your screen. We're at 42K likes. Let's try to get to 50K before the end of the live stream, which is about half an hour from now. I'm going to try to put back up the gifts. I don't know if they're up. Can somebody let me know if the mini, expanded, and complete options are back on the screen? They are. Perfect. I can't see them on my end, so. All right. Coming up next is some Reiki for the Soul Star Chakra. Give me just a minute to get that started. All right, I know the energy that I want to use for this. It's so funny. Usually before I start the live stream, I'll sit for a few minutes and see if any energies come to mind for the session. And there was one that came to mind, and this is where it belongs in the session. This was the energy that had come to mind for me today. These are my specimens of clear quartz. Let's work a bit with this clear quartz as we explore the Soul Star Chakra. The Soul Star Chakra can be of a bit of an obscure energy center. Certainly understanding the third eye chakra can be challenging for many of us. Understanding the crown chakra can be even more challenging. But understanding the Soul Star Chakra presents many challenges for our minds. It's more of a center of surrendering, moving into a space where we are more sensation than thought. The soul star chakra is the energy center of our, I guess you would say, our cosmic lineage, where we've been cosmically, what our lives have been like, where we originate or have visited energetically in this life and before. The soul star chakra is about timelessness, energy outside of time. And I'm using these specimens of clear quartz. Clear quartz is unadulterated energy, clear and clean. Inviting that clear and clean energy to lift your spirit. More than an energy of air, it's an energy of ether. As we reconnect to our life's journey and beyond, seeking to align with our greatest purpose, even if we don't understand with our mind what that is. You can drive yourself crazy trying to think about what your purpose is. I don't know if you've experienced that, but I surely have. You think about it with your mind too much, and you find yourself going in circles sometimes. But this energy is one that rises above those cyclical conversations you have with yourself. Who am I? What am I doing here? How did I get here? What is my purpose? How can I be happy? Am I good? Am I right? Am I loved? Questions like that. You know the questions, I'm sure you do. The soul star chakra is an energy center where those questions have answers. Me too, Jay. Those can be anxiety-inducing questions. This energy center is one that dissipates the weight of those questions, allowing you to simply be who you are, even if you don't fully understand what that is, right? Because who does? Allowing yourself to align with a loving energy, universal, encompassing you in this life and beyond. Trusting. That's the word. It's so hard to do, isn't it? That's the word of this chakra. Trust. Surrendering and trusting that you are held. And you are now exactly as you have always been. Exactly where you need to be. Trusting. if you're anything like me, when you hear that word, trust or trusting, I want to head for the hills. I'm like off at the races. Get me out of here. Trust is so hard for so many of us, and yet it can also be so simple and easy as we open to truly trusting the universe, ourselves, and others. Clear quartz is such a simple and universal crystal energy. Absolutely anyone can access it, but it has that elevated signature. Observing how this engagement of the soul star chakra feels. Just observing and allowing. Trying not to overthink. Trusting. Trusting. It's all right for you to trust. Beautiful. I hope that journey arrived for you. Oh my goodness, Fatima, thank you so much for another bouquet. Would you also like another request? Or are you just gifting? Some people do, which is fine. Let me know in the chat what you prefer. Also, let me know in the chats, everyone, what that soul star journey brought up for you, if anything. It is a bit of a rare chakra, and it is a very difficult chakra to understand in the way that we understand things in the physical body. So I'm interested to learn if you had any thoughts or any sensations come to mind during that portion of the healing. Let me know in the chat. Fatima with a request to expel stagnation and welcome new opportunities. Yes. Give me just a moment. Of course, I like that you want to share that energy with others. Give me a moment here to get that ready. here. All right, give me a second. I'm going to grab my Jungite crystal and my infinite stone crystal. Give me just a moment to find those. All right, this will be our last request of the session for today. I may have time for one non-gifted request at the end, I'm not sure, but I'm going to go ahead and take down the gifts to end the requests. I wanted to thank everyone who made requests today. Appreciate it. We're almost at 50k likes. Thank you for tapping your screen. All right. Fatima's request is really for new opportunities. I wanted to work with Jungite first. Just look at this specimen of Jungite. It is a rare crystal, but it is a local crystal. It's one of the crystals that I purchased from local miners here in Western Massachusetts. Bebe, you can look at my profile picture for my live times, but my next live will be Thursday on this account. Jungite looks like a cloud, doesn't it? It has the coloring of a gentle storm cloud with bits of kind of earthiness in it, which is exactly what Jungite is like. It brings that airy and uplifting energy of the air element with a little bit of that grounding, earthy element. Jungite is an energy of motivation, tapping into the element of air, which is that rising, inspired energy. The energy of air is the element of change, riding the wind into new potential and new possibility without fear. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie or if you've read the book, Never Ending Story. I read the book a couple of years ago, and it was very different from the movie. But one thing that both works have in common is Falkor. If you've watched the movie or read the book, you know who Falkor is. It's that dragon, that white dragon that's very long, and it almost looks like air. Its scales almost look like bubbles. And this Jungite energy is just like riding the back of Falkor, the element of air, as it moves through the sky with you on its back. Do you know that scene where Falkor is riding and he has his tongue lolling out on the side because he feels so much joy with flying through the sky? His literal tongue is like hanging out the side. It's like flapping in the wind. That's the image. The absolute pure pleasure and joy of surrendering to the sky, of riding the wind unencumbered, of journeying to new places. The excitement is something to be embraced. as you soar through the open sky. Hello, Ray. Good to see you, my friend. Yungite is an energy of motivation, inspired by the element of air, capturing you in a journey through the skies. This energy welcomes a new project or embracing a new goal. And as airy as this energy is, because it is primarily an air element energy, it's also tinged with a little bit of earth, which is the perfect balance, isn't it? When you need motivation, when you want to ride into something new, but at the same time, hello, Mother Nature, when you want to feel grounded. So you want to fly high with your tongue lolling out the side like Falcor in Never Ending Story. But at the same time, you also want to feel safe, protected, and grounded. Yungite is exactly that. With cloud and earth combined. Encouraging you to ride through the sky, knowing that you can always ground down and feel safe and supported when you need to. Fatima, I love that. Me too. A little adrenaline would be nice. So this first energy opens the possibility of accepting and desiring that air journey, that air ride of possibilities. Natalia, I actually don't do that kind of ASMR on this channel, but I do on my ASMR channel, which is Evening Springtime ASMR. I'll be there tomorrow. If you want to follow there, I'll do some microphone blowing and scratching and all kinds of things there. I tend to leave that out of Reiki. Hello, Jen. I want to follow this Yungite energy immediately with Infinite Stone. Infinite Stone is heavier on the earth because as we think of new possibilities and new opportunities, we first need to unlock the heart, letting it rise like air, imagining the joy and the pleasure of the new. And yet, for most of us, we need to quickly attach that sensation to safety. Infinite Stone is an energy of new ventures. Like jade, it's an energy that invites abundance and prosperity, really focusing on something new and energized coming your way. Infinite Stone is different from Yungite, where Yungite inspires an uplifting airiness like riding the sky with Falcor. Infinite stone is not in the air at all. It is all earth, covering your bases, working with both energies of air and earth together to marshal in something new and fresh, feeling both the joy and the safety and security of a new venture or new energy, feeling ready, feeling open. Might be strange working with the very airy energy of Yungite and then following it with the very dense, tangible, heavy feeling after working with air sensation of infinite stone. But I'd like you to imagine moving into the in-between, right between air and earth, a point of equilibrium and balance and readiness, both grounded and inspired. Good. And of course, open. That's the key element to any change. And openness is not always easy, but that's all right. There's no rush. Taking your time, opening in your own time, in your own way, and enjoying the journey of healing as it unfolds. Massive energetic movement there for me. Thank you so much for your request. And thank you all for 51K likes. We made it. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I appreciate your support so much. Wow. Just a second, just a sec. I wonder if anyone else felt a massive movement there. That was like, whew. So Fatima, that wasn't only for you. It definitely was for everyone. Hold on. Hold on. You did, Amir, and that's so funny. I'm just going to mute because there's some construction trucks outside. Hold on. Okay, I think we're good. Well, I wanted to thank you all for sharing in the chat today and for over 50K likes. That's amazing. You guys were really tapping the screen. I also wanted to thank you for your generous gifts today. I appreciate the support. We did not have time today for a non-gifted request at the end of this session. However, I'm thinking that I will make it a point during the next live stream on Thursday to leave at least enough time for one non-gifted request. So if you were waiting until the end, I don't know if anybody was, but if you were waiting until the end of the session today, hoping that there would be space, I'm going to make it a priority next time to make sure that I leave some time for a non-gifted request. I'm just going to make a note here so I don't forget. Okay. Perfect. My next live stream will be Thursday at 11 a.m. This is my new time. I'm going to try out for a while to see if it works a little better with my schedule. So much trial and error. You can also check out my ASMR account at Evening Springtime ASMR. If you like traditional ASMR, I'm quite a noob. So if nothing else, it'll just give you a reason to laugh. And hopefully also relax. And I stream there on Tuesdays and Fridays. I'm happy to stick around for a few moments if anyone has any questions. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Monday and that you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the new followers, and thank you to Amiran, my moderator, who always does a wonderful job. I'll see you next time. Oh, yeah. Also, if you want to watch a rebroadcast of any of the live streams, I do post them on YouTube. If you check on my profile, I have my time zone right there for you. I do stream at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Take good care.